there, my name's Jill Tiny. I'm from Collaboration Global, and this is our podcast, Being Human, Hidden Depths. I'm going to be interviewing some of our members from Collaboration Global, and they're going to be sharing with you their extraordinary lives. Although they would probably believe they're just normal, everyday, average humans, but they are extraordinary. A bit like you and me, we all have our story to tell. We've all been through difficult times, and we've come out the other end having learned an extraordinary amount about ourselves that we can share with others. So I think you'll find lots of things that will resonate with where you've been in your journey as well. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Hello and welcome to Being Human, Hidden Depths by Collaboration Global, and my name is Jill Tiny, and I'm very proud and excited to welcome one of our new members to Collaboration Global, the wonderful Zach Smith. Welcome, Zach. Lovely to have you on the podcast.
It's a total pleasure, Jill. I can listen to you interview and have questions all day long with that beautiful accent of yours. It's like so chipper and fun.
Thank you so much. And you know what? The feeling is mutual because you are all about the holiday. And I could talk about holidays, just you're my favorite subject. And also, not only holidays, it's not just about getting away and having a break. What you are about is the experience and the holistic wholeness of actually having that journey and that experience. So before I get that far, let's just ask you the question I ask all of our members as well. What attracted you to Collaboration Global, and what is it about collaboration that you find it interesting?
Well, I thought that the values of the community and the purpose in which you initiated the community were really aligned with my own values. I do believe that we are a big connected human family, but very rarely are we connecting, across geographies, virtually with, interesting people. And you've set up this container where we all get to collaborate in some fashion or get to know each other a little better and learn together. And it's a very efficient way to upskill a little bit and connect. I wish there was more time zone overlap with my own time zone, which is in Los Angeles. I know a lot of the times are European centric, but it's okay. I still have a lot of learnings from the experience so far and looking for more.
Brilliant. That was the right answer. Thank you. And I do apologize for the time zone, but Australia would say the same thing. So
of course,
we've got people over there. You can't please all the people all the time, but what we do is we try and record things like this, so everyone can get access in their own sweet time and find out more about each other. And that, as you say, it's this container, isn't it? It's this space, holding the space for people to be brilliant and people to connect with other amazing people. And from my experience, generally 99.9% of the world are amazing. And I just love pulling all those people into the same space and finding out what they think, what's affecting you right now, and what's affecting us, and how we are the same but different in all the best possible ways.
Yeah.
So, Los Angeles. Oh, I've been to Los Angeles. That's fun. Redondo Beach. Oh, gorgeous. So many places. Hollywood. You've got to do it, haven't you? What part of California? What part of Los Angeles, rather, are you? Is it a familiar place to us as UK people? Or?
Well, it's in one of the canyons, so we're have a little elevation, and it's really beautiful. Very fortunate. There's trails and things to get me out in nature that are really accessible. And then, of course, there's all the conveniences of a major city. The other thing about Los Angeles that's so great is almost for a lot of the cultures of the world, it's sometimes the second or third largest population exists in some region of Los Angeles. So you can have almost any type of cuisine or certain fabric you can find, or there's so many artisans and things that people have settled in Los Angeles over the last 60, 70 years. It's truly an incredible city. It's like kind of microcosm of America, but also the world. So
Yeah.
I've always lived on the West Coast, and I had a perception about Los Angeles growing up that, oh my gosh, there's so much traffic and smog, and the people are so superficial because they're all just chasing fame.
Yeah.
And I found the opposite to be quite true here, is there's plenty of down-to-earth people, lots of people just being normal. There's not egos all over the place. Of course, I don't run in those circles where it exists, but it's around. But
Mm.
for the most part, also there's a lot of outdoor activities to experience here that was also surprising. As someone who comes from the Northwest, we have a lot of clean water, clean air, and nature.
Mm.
However, we do have a pretty long rainy season, and so some of that nature is not so accessible. Here in Los Angeles, you can do a lot. So with the
Yeah.
kids, things, we're outside a lot, and that's really nice.
Well, as someone from England who goes for a walk in a forest and doesn't really meet any creatures,
Hmm.
we have a deer park up the road, which is very
Hmm.
nice. But they don't bother you. They don't come anywhere near nearby. We definitely don't have any bears or any lions or anything like that.
Hmm.
You have big cats, don't you? How do you keep your children safe if you go off?
Well, it's funny. We were doing a little backyard construction a couple years ago, and one of the gentlemen was talking to me about coyotes, and I said, yeah, we have them around, and my daughter at the time was kind of snack size for a coyote, like two and a half.
Ooh, yeah.
And then a coyote ran in our backyard at the same time.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh my God, yes, we supervise her when she's outside. But of course they're kind of skittish type, small dog, they are around all over Los Angeles.
Gosh.
However, yeah, they have not harmed us. Every now and again, they poop in the backyard, but other than that, they don't bother us. Yeah. And now our daughter's big enough that I don't think she's snack size anymore. So,
So you don't have certain rules that like when you're out, then this is what you have to do.
well,
Not
I think that cats and chickens are hard to have in LA
okay.
because there are so many coyotes
Uh,
that it can be dangerous for them.
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, the big cats are not so much around us. I mean, the Northwest has quite a few bears, and
I
there
was
are mountain lions in the region, but yeah, you don't encounter those big wildlife very often.
No, all we
Pretty
have is
rare.
that we have badgers and foxes, and that's about it. And you're like,
Hmm.
oh, for goodness sake, just go away.
Yeah.
One of our members, Anne Scotland, lives has a property. I'm not sure if she's currently living there at the moment, but she did a video of what was going on her patio one morning at breakfast
Mm.
time, and it was this big bear that was knocking down her.
Wow.
She had like a street light lantern outside, and he was just playing with it. And he went, the whole thing went over. I'm like, oh and he was just on the back legs, just playing with it. And I'm like, oh my God, how do you live in a place where bears are just
Mhm.
pottering around in your garden?
Mhm.
Freaks me out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I mean, one state in particular comes to mind, Montana has a lot of um, bears, and
Yeah,
Alaska, of course, does as well. And it's all about trying to prevent them from getting acclimated to finding food
right.
where people live. And if they don't find food where people live, then they'll be out in the wilderness. But it's dangerous when they start becoming dependent on the getting food from where people live. So
Right.
that's the concern. And there's cities or little destinations in Southern California where yeah, you have to put the garbage in a certain type of container that is bear proof,
Ah,
just so they don't ever get acclimated to that habit. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, it's sensible things, isn't it? Sensible
yeah,
precautions that you don't think of when you live in another country. We have to be careful of the foxes because you can't put a black sack out and wait for the bin men to come and pick it up. It's got to be in a proper bin, otherwise those foxes have it.
yeah,
but that's
mhm,
it's big, not so big.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so this is what I love when we've got a community with people that are based in Brazil and Malaysia and Austria and Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia. Well, no, Czechia, sorry, not Czechoslovakia. And now you guys in America and obviously Canada as well. The differences that we have are minimal and the commonalities are huge. And I think, as you said at the beginning, it's to do with the values that we have
Mhm.
and that we share. And the foundation of what we have got as a community at Collaboration Global is love. And I think if you've got love wherever you are in the world and you share that love, then you've always going to have a community around you that will
Mhm.
support you and help you in what you need to get done.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just love talking to people and hearing their views on politics or on the weather or on how they grew up and the
Mhm.
differences that we have. So if you've already always been in a kind of the sunshine state, seasons going on and that kind of thing, have you ever? I mean, when did you start traveling? Because obviously this is your profession. Anywhere.com it is, isn't it? Anywhere.com.
Mhm.
How did you first, what was your first trip that you got you the travel bug?
Well, the first time I was out of the country was when I was a senior in high school. A
Right.
friend of mine invited me to spring break in Cabo. And we didn't go to the same school, but we had played on a basketball team for years together and we're good friends. And so that was my first experience out of the country, to be honest. My parents worked really hard. They were artisans. When they had vacations, they'd be selling pottery at an art show.
Mm,
So we didn't have a budget or much time to go explore the world.
mm,
So that was my first encounter in Mexico, and it was a very typical trip where all-inclusive resort, and then would go to the little strip at night, and that was it was okay. I had a great time, but
mm,
as time went by, I started having different types of travel experiences that really opened me up to more of the cultural component of visiting a
mm.
country. And uh, you know, let's be honest, when you're in a hotel of 500 rooms and three restaurants and you're just kind of in this contained space,
Could be
you're
anywhere.
not really encountering uh, what's there. What story exists in that country is not even relevant. It's just convenience and feeling luxurious or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
That and there's a place for that. Uh, However, as my experiences traveling in Europe, I did a study abroad in Europe.
Hmm.
So I traveled on my own. I traveled with friends, and then I was based in Vienna. So I encountered day-to-day life a lot more in those experiences
Yeah,
versus being in a contained industrial scale accommodation.
yeah.
So that really sparked an interest in me, especially since when you are on the ground in these places, there's so much happening.
Mm,
And then and you know there's a unique rhythm that exists in every city or every location. And when you're a visitor, how can you quickly understand what how to spend your time in that place so you get an encounter that is aligned with your values or something that interests you? So how do you take advantage of time when you're in a new place has been like a lifelong puzzle for me. And so I've had the privilege of having a travel business, starting a travel business, working on helping people structure their time in a new place. And the locals are a big part of that. They co-create the trip with the client, and we are accountable to their experience. So it's trying to minimize that feeling of regret or opportunity cost or whatever, because our time is so precious. We're not in this place all the time. We're visiting. So how do you make it feel wonderful? Like you're getting everything you want, you're relaxed, and you're sensing the the vibe of the place, for lack of a better word.
mm. Do you know what you just made me realize? how blessed I have been in my first experience of going abroad. Because I didn't go abroad until I was 21, when it was my honeymoon. And because I lived in London, which was a cosmopolitan area, the road I lived in had every nation under the sun. And my
Hmm.
neighbours were Portuguese. And they said, as a wedding present for me and my new husband, they were going to let us borrow their accommodation in Nazaré, just outside Lisbon, which
Hmm.
is where they live normally. So they lived in the UK to make some money and were really hardworking people, but the rest of the family were in Nazaré, which is a fishing village.
Hmm.
Fast forward 40 years, this is back in 84. It is now the center of the surfing universe.
Hmm.
Who
Yeah, the
knew?
big wave surfing is huge there. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So when
Yeah.
we went, it was a tiny little fishing village. The harbour
Mm-hmm.
hadn't even been built. They were just beginning to build the harbour. And the trams in Lisbon were running, but they were being tested because they were brand new. So this is gives you an idea of how old it was. And our neighbour met us out there to look after us while we were on our
Hmm.
honeymoon. And she
Hmm.
stayed with her family that was in the little shanty town up the road. So it was
Hmm.
literally in a corrugated iron shack. And we were in this
Hmm.
beautiful one bedroom apartment that she had decorated with all of the hard work that she'd done back in England.
Hmm.
And the beach, as you probably know, is phenomenal. And so we were lying on the beach, and people would come over to us, these big burly fishermen, and go,
Hmm.
"Oh, Nella's friend," and we're like, "Yeah." And they would come and
That's
chat, and after,
great.
yeah, and they would come and
Mm.
then you come have some food, and that
Yeah.
they barely knew any English. We went to
Hmm.
there were like 3 restaurants in the village, no translation on the menu. It
Hmm.
was Portuguese or Portuguese or Portuguese.
Hmm.
Nobody spoke English.
Hmm.
So Nella would come and help us and take us to restaurants, and and she'd set us up. What do you want? This is it. And a couple of times she'd stay, and after that, it's like, no, it's your honeymoon. I'm going off. We'll see you tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we had a party at the flat where all the family came, and the little boy that lives next door to us in London would be the translator for us. So it was
Hmm.
like, Ricardo, come over here. What did he just say? I didn't get. And he would like
Oh,
translate for us.
wow.
And I
What a
loved
gift.
it. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved that whole experience of seeing what they were like, what it felt like
Hmm.
to be there, the whole
Hmm.
family, the village. It was a village, and it
Hmm.
was just magical. And I would never dare go back because it's changed. I know
Hmm.
it's changed, and I don't want to spoil that memory of what I had. But to me, since then, every single holiday, whether it's been all inclusive or whatever, I've wanted to get to know the staff. I wanted to get to know the
Hmm.
locals. I've wanted to learn a little bit of the language so I didn't feel like I
Hmm.
was too ignorant. And we've been to christenings abroad that people invited us to, people's houses, come and have supper, come and do this. The taxi drivers that we've made friends of and we've spent the day
Hmm.
with. And to me, it's always about the people that
Yes.
give us that love and pride in
Hmm.
their country, in what they have and what they do. And the sharing when they
Hmm.
do barely have very much at all has always overwhelmed me with how kind people are wherever you go.
Yeah.
I just love that whole, and maybe that's part of why Collaboration Global exists. I don't know.
Hmm.
Is having an online country
Hmm.
that we're
Yeah.
creating our own traditions
Hmm.
along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think oftentimes what people see online when they're researching travel or being tempted to go somewhere, it's places, 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 places. Got to go to this place. Got to go to this place. Got to get that view. Got to see that thing. But travel's about people, and ultimately, it's about connection.
Mm,
And that's what makes it transformative when those ingredients exist.
mm,
However, if your intent is I just got to go to that place and that place and that place and that place, and you're just checking a series of boxes off, then you are missing the what's possible in that experience. And we try to bridge those two different ways. Of course, you want to move to different places and you do want to see different things, but then how do you catalyze the connection throughout that whole process?
mm. So you, over the years, when did you start doing this in the beginning, roughly?
I was 22
Okay.
and
Why,
traveling,
why have you?
traveling, traveling from Oregon to Oaxaca, Mexico with a friend.
Right.
And we had saved a bunch of money, not a bunch, but enough money to essentially backpack through Central America.
Right.
And Oaxaca was our starting point, and reading books and getting acclimated in different cities along the way. So usually we'd spend 5 or maybe a week, 5 days or maybe a week in a place and then move on to the next. And a series of serendipitous encounters led me to a place called Monteverde, Costa Rica, where I ended up getting hired by somebody to because I wanted to extend my trip. I didn't want to go home to the rainy season in Oregon.
Don't blame me.
And yeah, it was just there's a whole story there. I don't want to get into that, but basically I learned tourism
Mm.
and I had a notion to improve what this gentleman had started. And the first person I told that I was thinking about starting a tourism business in Costa Rica is my business partner today. We met on an aerial tram going through the rainforest. He was
Oh,
on a vacation, and I had not told anybody what my plans were and what I intended to do, but I was already kind of pretty far down on the path
yeah.
of visualizing and knowing that was going to be something I was going to do with my life.
Mm.
And so yeah, we've had a partnership for almost 20 years, and his skill is he's a self-taught software engineer and has really been able to put structure to my vision and the processes that we've learned over time that work really well for generating fulfilling trips for people. So yeah, it's been a long journey. And this is the first phase that I've tried to communicate the story and show the values. I naively perhaps thought that uh, the brand alone would be enough. We have 5 stars on Trustpilot.
Yeah.
Everybody has a wonderful time when they use our service.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful website, but there hasn't been as much forward facing communication from the founder. And so this is now I'm like, okay, I guess that was the missing ingredient. I got to figure this out. I got to, show up and try to um yeah, be real and share my experience because it's been I've been like experience is the best teacher. And so I've had a lot of experiences and life has taught me a lot and it's
Yeah.
definitely some hard spots
Yeah.
along the way and even currently. So I have, some things to share with that regard. And so I'm trying to upskill, I suppose, myself. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you know what? Aren't we all? It's an ever
Yeah.
growing
Hmm.
journey that we all go on, and you have that curve, and then you have to kind of up to the next level. There's a Seth Godin book called The Dip. And it's
Uh-huh.
like you go up and you're nearly there. Oh, you're back again. Oh,
Yeah.
you're almost there. And then eventually you get there and you realize there's another dip to go. And
There's always another dip and another mountain.
uh,
Yeah, that's for
but it's
sure.
enjoying the journey, for want of a
Yeah.
better expression, literally enjoying the journey as you go. So tell
Yeah.
me a fun story from one of your clients where they've gone off and had what they thought was bog standard holiday and come back gone, oh, that was amazing. What's your first sort of happy success story when you first started out?
Well, I think one story that stands out as being um, like what we really specialize in is complex travel.
Yeah.
So that is we connect the entire trip from arrival to departure.
Mm-hmm.
And one trip where there was a woman who came from India and then her daughter was in grad school in the United States and they met in Peru. And over the course of 3 weeks, they were together for 2 weeks, experiencing various parts of Peru, seeing the Amazon, going to Machu Picchu, going
Mm.
to Cusco, spending time in Lima at different restaurants. And then they had a little time in Ecuador. And then the mom continued her trip. But this itinerary over the 3 weeks was more than 75 services.
Whoa.
So, so it was completely bespoke to this client and their desire to do all these things
Yeah.
and to really know that this region of the world and we specialize in that. We want to co-create the best version of this trip where there's no moment of regret.
Mm.
And so sometimes the planning process can, for people that just want to click a button and just buy a trip and they're gone, um, that's not really us. We want to understand the person so we can match them. So we feel that time and certainly, everyone's resources are, to some degree finite, uh, to make sure that they're getting what they want, they're
Mm.
structuring time in the right way, and there's not a what if or some sort of regret that starts showing up. I wish I had known this, or I wish I had known that. And so we really try to eliminate all those feelings.
Wow.
And the goal is just peace of mind. And there's enough complexity in this world. And if you're going to go experience this culture, we want to make sure it's the best for you. So we dedicate a lot of time to making sure that's a perfect match.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing because some of the countries that you have people sort of on the ground are possibly for me from the outside looking in are countries that I'd be like, oh, I'm a bit nervous to go there. Is it
Yeah.
safe? Are you going to be looked after? Especially if you're traveling within that country and you're not just going from spot A to spot B
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then coming away again. So the fact that you can accommodate all of that, um, is it a case of somebody goes, this is my budget, this is the area-ish I want to go to, and I want to go to achieve this, and this, and then you go, okay, and you go off and create it for them. Is that
Yeah. We have a very short, maybe like 2 to 3 minute intake form where people really start to align their preferences
mm,
and we understand some of their constraints, budget or who's coming at what age,
yeah,
dietary restrictions, what have you.
wow,
And yeah, like some people want to spend more money on experiences and they don't really want to be in a fancy hotel. Some
mm,
people want to be in a really nice hotel and spend a lot of money on experiences. So there's a lot of variables at work if you think about it. It's like we're structuring, depending on how long they have in the country, but we're really structuring their experience for 10, 12 days from just the intention and the preferences they have into a full-fledged experience. And sometimes that first draft of the trip, it's 80% correct. And
mm,
then the next draft after a conversation or an email exchange, it's 90%.
yeah,
And then, it's another little exchange and it's 99%. And then it feels like 100%.
yeah,
And when it feels like 100%, this is exactly what I do, how I want to have my time. And we get the client to really start to project themselves there.
mm,
And then also, of course, our teams in each geography, each of the experts and the trip designers, they're naturally putting themselves in the shoes of this visitor. Okay, they're arriving to my country.
mm,
They've just traveled for 9 hours. Okay, what's this first experience going to be like? Okay, where I don't want to send them on another 5 hour drive somewhere else. Like, how do we make sure that they're landing softly and feeling,
mm,
good? And so sometimes people get this in their mind. Okay, I'm only there for 10 days. I got to do these 17 things. And we just say, hey, hold up. Like, let's really start to think about what that means as far as how much physical movement you're asking us to coordinate for you.
mm,
Why don't we build in some rest? Why don't we build in some unstructured time So
Mm.
you can just be. Again, it's that blend of advice and, expert knowledge and trying to minimize regret. Ultimately, that's really the North Star. And so people oftentimes are a little apprehensive, like, is this all going to work?
Yeah.
And usually a couple days in, they start to relax into the trip. And then by the end of the trip, they're like, I don't want to travel any other way
Yeah.
because I felt so good. I got what I wanted. My family was happy. I wasn't stressed out. So all of those ingredients kind of create a new standard, I'd say, for complex travel, for
Yeah.
exploring. Yeah.
And
So we
then,
just want to make it easy to do those more interesting trips. That's really our
then
goal.
but then
Yeah.
they have experienced a unique thing, and they go home and they tell people about it, and they're not going to get any of their friends going, oh yeah, I did that. No, you didn't. You didn't do it the way we did it.
Hmm.
Yeah, they might have
Yeah.
done similar or some off the wall bits and pieces, but they are going to have a truly unique experience because of that work that you guys put in at the beginning. I have this vision of everyone sitting around a table going, okay, so what are we going to do with these people? Where are we going to send
Hmm.
them? Where are we going to take them? What's the best restaurant we can go to, or what's the best way they can cook the food that they're going to. I can
Hmm.
just imagine you guys going
Yeah.
all out, and somebody sitting there going, no, no, that's not quite what I see. And somebody else just, how many people actually plan these things? Does it vary?
Yeah, it varies. Some geographies have 10 or 12 trip designers. Some geographies have 2 to 3.
Wow.
So it depends. We're very close to launching Mexico. Probably by the time this comes out, Mexico will be active on our website.
Awesome.
And that's a big geography. We're really been
Mm.
working on that very hard for the last year to get the entire trust network enabled. Take some time. We also have clients that are in Greece at this moment. They have 30 days in Greece, so that's an unpublished trip that we're able to execute.
Mm.
So, by way of referral or repeat, we can connect a trip anywhere uh, that's safe. We don't really do war
Mm.
zone travel or anything like that. But we really value our own time and our clients' time. So if we just all of a sudden are in 80 countries and people can just fill out a form and all of that stuff, it devalues our work. It devalues what we're really about. And so we do put certain limits on what is published on the website and then what we can actually do for people
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you go on holiday?
Wherever my wife wants to go mostly.
As a wise man.
Um, it depends. I mean, we've done a couple European trips. Uh, the last 5 years, we were in Portugal, like you. We were in Lisbon. We didn't do Nazarene, but we did Porto. And
Yeah.
then a friend of mine was getting married in Valencia, so we spent some time in Valencia. And then we met up with friends in Ibiza, and then had some downtime in Mallorca, and then saw our dear friends in Cologne, Germany,
Mm.
and then I think a couple days in Stockholm, and
Wow.
then that was a big family trip. And our daughter was only 2.5 at the time. Son was 5-ish.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was fun. We did Sicily the next year,
Yeah.
which was really a beautiful place. In October we did it, not when it was still hot, but it wasn't so
Yeah.
crazy hot. I mean, I really find I can't believe how many people descend on Europe in July and August
I know.
when,
It's crazy.
especially Southern Europe,
Yeah.
when it really just is
It's not comfortable.
not that great to be
No.
there. It's so crowded. The locals are kind of irritated. Yet, a lot of Americans and Canadians and other just like that's when they go.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's out of balance,
Yeah.
from a lot of contexts. So yeah, we try to make the best recommendations, of course, within the constraints that clients have. So, um, we really try not to contribute to the over tourism um, that is occurring. We we really want them to reconsider if they are so intent on I gotta be in Rome July 20th, and it's like,
Yeah.
why don't we check out one of these other towns in Calabria, or
Yeah.
why don't we look somewhere else that's just not so crowded. So
Yeah.
anyway.
We made that mistake when we went to Dubrovnik in July.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful city, but
Yeah.
apparently there are
The
60.
cruise ships. Yeah.
Well, I don't think they have the cruise ships anymore. I don't think they do that there. I think they go
They
further up to Split.
okay.
But there's 60,000 residents. And then when the summer comes, there's like 3.4 million people in Dubrovnik. And you go and you're like, you're just walking along, excuse me. Oh, sorry, excuse me. And it's
It
like, there's no fun here. It's too hot. This is just,
yeah.
you can see it's beautiful, but go in November.
It has an impact on the vibe. It
Mm.
really does. I
Mm.
mean, yes, travel's about people, but too many people,
Yeah.
then it's just you're in a you're in, you're like in a sporting event or something at a stadium. I mean, that is
It's like Game of Thrones
yeah,
apparently was the cause of the
sure.
big
Hmm.
influx. And I've never seen an episode. So they would say different things. Game of Thrones this and Game of Thrones that. And I'm like, no, no, no.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Well, hey, people are chasing uh whatever it is, some Instagram post that shows that they're
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know. But yeah, it's I wish people would reconsider some of those choices. I think it's important. Otherwise, we do impact um, these geographies that we, you know,
Yeah, for
we,
sure.
I
It,
think too much homogeny, too much wanting the same thing is only going to create more of the sameness rather than allowing for those differences to emerge and continue to evolve over time.
yeah.
Um, so yeah.
There's nothing worse than staying in a hotel and looking at your hotel room going, I could be anywhere. And it's
Mm,
just what's the point? Why would you not be proud of where you stay and put something into the architecture of the room or the hotel or something that kind of demonstrates? And it's a bit depressing to be in that hotel when you know it could be absolutely anywhere. And it's like, I don't like this very much. So I'm becoming exactly what you said, being more mindful of my choices
yeah.
rather than being part of a massive chain.
Mm-hmm.
Is you go to the local boutique hotel or you go to
Mm-hmm.
somewhere that's, you won't get me camping. That's something I'm not into, but but it is
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? And I've always said that as Collaboration Global grows, I'd like to do a world tour because we've now got people in Malaysia and Vienna and Brazil and North
Mm-hmm.
America and all the rest of it. And it's like, wow, how cool would that be to
Mm.
and meet them and get them to show me around? That to me is much more fun than going somewhere and being guided, a tour guide taking you out, which on the one
Mm.
hand is good if the tour guide lives there and it's their thing. But me and my friend went to Hampton Court Palace in London
Mm-hmm.
once, having been there many times before, having been huge Tudor fans, Henry VIII
Mm-hmm.
and wives, and there was an American group going around. And the lady that was the tour guide was saying this painting here and this painting here and this statue and Henry VIII does this and Henry VIII did that and Henry's wife this and Henry's wife that. And as we were listening, because you can't help, we were just taking ourselves around.
Yeah.
And as
Mm-hmm.
you're listening, we were like, that's a load of rubbish she's telling them. It was like Anne Boleyn was his fifth wife and she survived. And we're like, no, I think you'll find that she had her head cut off and there's a big movie about that. And and she was we looked at each other and go, should we tell? Should we tell? We didn't know whether to ruin the tour guide's life by saying, actually, all that is lies, you're just making it up as you go along, or whether it was just these poor tourists were just being duped along the way. And to me, I want a tour guide that's lived there and knows everything and can talk from authenticity so that
Yeah.
you know what they're saying is from the heart and their lived experience, really. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the type of match that I think it does make a big difference um, when when you pursue that type of connection versus yeah, I mean, there's group tours
Mm,
that many people purchase where yeah, the tour guide's not from there, that you're on a big bus, you're kind of going from highlight to highlight,
yeah.
and that's just not travel. Travel is supposed to be, there's a little bit of struggle. There's a little bit like I'm charting my own course here.
Mm,
And you want to have a trust network to make you feel safe. That's what we're where we come in
yeah.
and can adapt to your specific preferences. But the yeah, when you're in a large group where everyone's speaking the same language, you're moving around, you are kind of an outsider. You're not in the experience.
Mm,
You're just sort of an observer. And I think um, when it comes to where things will go, it really is up to consumer choices because some people just, that they like the comfort of being in a big bus with people
yeah.
from their same, uh, same country, and they find a lot of common ground with each other.
Mm,
It just happens to be in a different geography.
mm.
And that's a thing. That's not where we specialize. That's not where we want to make a difference.
So, who are the people that you attract? Who are the people? What's their demographic? Do they have a commonality, or are they just totally off grid? That they're just different, and they find you. How do they
Uh,
currently find you? And two, what
yeah,
sort of people do you attract?
I think we attract curious people. We attract people that want to take ownership of their experience.
Mm,
And maybe they've had a lot of experiences where they don't like what gets recommended by a a big travel package company.
yeah.
So we're that middle ground where they have agency and we have all the connections, and we build it together. So it's a lot of moms, a lot of ambitious moms. But it's single people, it's couples, it's multi-generational families.
Mm,
We really do try to be a one-stop shop, and so we've got experience with all types of people.
mm,
And that's in line with our values. We don't want to be only exclusive for, the millionaires and billionaires. We have worked with many millionaires and billionaires, but primarily what we want is just to make it easier to create a unique trip and have an encounter with a culture that hopefully will help you gain more perspective and maybe even have a deeper connection with your loved ones having gone through that experience together.
I think that is the thing, isn't it? Or you're offering people that deeper connection through making those memories.
Yeah.
And if the memories are beige and bland, then the connection is kind of mediocre. But if there's
Mm.
something that was like, oh, do you remember when that happened? It was,
Mm-hmm.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we were lucky enough last year to go to Venice, and we were given a private tour of the Doge Palace and also a moonlight tour of the
Mm-hmm.
Basilica. And there was like 15 people in the party.
Mm-hmm.
So we had it all to ourselves with a guide that we could, for like 2 hours, ask them
Mm-hmm.
anything. And we got to go to the crypt that apparently nobody else was allowed to go to, and blah, blah, blah. And it was just, you could feel the energy in the air was just magical. It was such a beautiful experience. And
Yeah.
friends of ours went, oh, yeah, yeah, we did the Basilica. Oh, we only had to
Mm-hmm.
queue up for about an hour and a half. It was really good because we had this premier entrance, so we got to go before the crowds. I mean, but you still queued up for an hour and a half. How many people were in there with you? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
everybody just followed on. There, I was about 200, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, yeah. You saw the same thing we did. Not. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's a different. and we
Yeah.
can all, you can all, I can almost get goosebumps now just thinking about it because of how ethereal and special it was. And to the point that at one point they turned all the lights out
Mm.
and just let us sit there in silence in the dark, couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And then one by one, and they lit some candles, and it was just,
Yeah, well, that's the feeling. That's the
mm,
feeling that I think it is powerful.
mm,
When you really can connect uh, to yeah, the privilege we all have to be alive and able to actually experience the people and these wonderful places.
mm,
It's a wonderful time to be alive, and yeah, I think that travel can help remind people of that.
mm. Providing, as you say, we don't abuse the privilege of being allowed to travel by making a dent in where we are. You don't
Mm.
want to have a negative impact on
Mhm.
being there. And if you're going to be millions of people flocking to one place at the same time,
Yeah.
it's crazy, isn't it? So, what place in the world haven't you been that is still on your hit list if you had a hit list?
Oh, this is going to reveal that
You've not
I
been to
have
England yet.
plenty. I've been to London,
Okay.
but I haven't explored all of England. No, not even close. I would really like to go to Japan.
Mm,
And I think I've heard so many wonderful stories. I think the sort of the politeness and the energy of that place is
mm,
something I think I would like to experience. It's always seems to really impact people when they go and they experience that.
yeah.
So yeah, that geography, that whole region, that culture is definitely high on my to-do list. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been there yet. My daughters have been, but I haven't been there yet. So it's
Hmm.
definitely one of those things that, as you say, because each island is so different, and but it's the culture that is so different. The polite, as
Hmm.
you say, the politeness and the crime rate and negligible. But apparently, they do have a very bad railway system, tube system, underground in Tokyo.
Mm.
So my friend tells me that goes on a regular basis. It drives him nuts. He
Okay.
can't find his way around.
Yeah.
And apparently
Yeah.
it's notorious. So it's not just him saying it. It's
Yeah.
a lot of people say,
Well, yeah, I do think it probably is
yeah,
more complicated than some other places. I mean, it's yeah, symbolic languages are tricky, you know.
and that's why it's good to have locals, isn't it, on the ground
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
can help you and support you in all of that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
So,
So, remembering to stay curious when you're traveling, I think is a really good philosophy because if you're just going to tick the bucket list, you're missing out on that potential experience that stays with you forever and gives you goosebumps
mhm.
after the event and can, as you say, connect you to those that you travel with. But even if
Yeah.
you travel alone, I mean, do you get many people that want to do the traveling on their own?
Yeah, yeah, fair amount. All types. I mean,
Mm,
hundreds of solo travelers have planned with us.
mm,
Um, yeah, but the understanding the deeper motive is, I think, really a powerful thing. Um, and maybe some people aren't even in touch with their real intention or motive.
mm,
Um, and through our process, we help them get more clarity on that. And I think it creates the outcomes that we deliver, where there's just no moment of regret, feeling really wonderful, and wanting to travel like that again.
yeah.
And so, yeah, that's part of the special sauce is just yeah, understanding people
Yeah.
and
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 I
and I, yeah,
was going to say that's probably you must have a lot of repeat business, people coming back again and again because it's like that was amazing. Can you do it again? It's like, but somewhere
yeah,
else.
yeah. We've had people that have planned 5, 6, 7 different trips with us. So our process and um, our commitment to their experience resonates with them. And I think on some level, they want us to stay a little secret, their little secret of how to hack
Mm.
traveling to different places. We just make it easy for them.
Yeah.
But we want to be more relevant and more valuable to more clients. And so, yeah, we're in the process of adding quite a few new geographies. And so that process we're rolling out slowly with, again, the people that are already in our network. So, yeah, it's a good time, finally.
So is it the case that if somebody goes onto your website, which is anywhere.com, and cannot see anything about a country that they're interested in, if you haven't already got people in that country, would you start creating something for them, or would you persuade them to go somewhere else in the meantime until you've got someone there?
Oh, we don't want to. We will guide people, but we don't want to. It's up to them. It's their trip. So that's always number one. We never want to try to oversell or overpromise or say you shouldn't go there just because we don't have a product or a network enabled there.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this is about just fulfilling their own lifelong travel goals and interests that they have. So there's not really a place for us. I mean, I don't believe that we need to um, use some sort of fear-based tactic to shift whatever's going on. If
Mm.
they have motivation to go to some place, we will try to help them. Um, or if we can't help them, we'll tell them we can't help them. I mean, we've had to do that for years and years and years in lots of places.
Yeah.
People, they remember how good a, time they had. They're like, hey, we want to go to, Indonesia, can you help us? Like for a while we couldn't. Now we can help them. I mean, or hey, we really want to go to Australia. And it's like for years and years we're like, we can, but we're steadily now being able to connect them with some of these other places. So it's a process. We're just taking things step by step.
Mm. But once you're there, once you've created that connection and those people in that space, then they can have that same beautiful experience, but from a different perspective. Listen, Zach, this has been really interesting. I love talking holidays. I love talking parts of the world, and I realize that I started late, not going abroad until I was 21. So I've got lots of catching up to do
Hmm.
as far as travel is concerned. And like I say, I'd love to do a world tour and meet all the members of Collaboration Global. So maybe that will be a hit list for you one day. I'll come to
Yeah.
right, Zach, off you go. These are the countries, off you go. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
At least you'd have somebody in each country to start the ball rolling.
Hmm.
Fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's do it.
yeah, oh, that would be amazing. If anybody has been listening like me and has got itchy feet and now wants to start next year, 2026, where could we go? What's the easiest way for them to get hold of you? Or is it best just to go to the website and fill out the form and you can take it from there? How do you?
Yeah, the website's a great way to get started. Can sign up to our email, or you can email me anytime. My email address is B, like the letter B, at anywhere.com. Happy to consult or support people in their trip planning. Um, and we are actually having a new feature of our website that will be ready soon called the Pathfinder,
Ah,
where we can help people structure their travel over the next 5 years or 10 years, where they're kind of putting in travel goals and things that they want to experience over time.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it's a central place for them to sort of record their intention, their potential dates. And then
Yeah.
as those dates, become closer, let's just say a year in advance, we can send them a proposal, a structured proposal that aligns with those intentions. And so that's a new way where, sometimes when people know where they want to go and they have a specific date, we get right into the nitty-gritty planning process. But we want to take a step back and just sort of be a resource for them to start setting their inner goals, and a place for that can be recorded, and we can add value to them over time by researching flights a year in advance, and then giving them like a proposal that again, as I said, really aligns with their intentions.
Mm. One of the groups that you could target more specifically is people that are over 60, like myself. You all of a sudden get this realization that health insurance is going to go up pretty soon. And the more ailments that you get, the more likelihood that you've got a deadline of when you won't be going abroad anymore because it will be too damn expensive. And so really there's a short window to get everything in. So we kind of know that for me, I mean, we might be traveling till we're 100, who knows? But a lot of our friends are now going, oh no, I'm not going to risk it anymore. Or I've got this problem, I can't go abroad anymore. So we're going to go, okay, maybe we've only got a window of opportunity for the next 10, 15 years before we are too, we wouldn't enjoy it so much. We wouldn't be able to climb so high. We wouldn't be able to walk for so long. We wouldn't be able to do all these things. So all of a sudden, the wish list of places that you've kind of dreamt of forever becomes more imminent, that you really want to get stuff done. So maybe you could find a little project out there just for that age group that might appeal, like they do with Saga. I guess you've got Saga over in the US, haven't you, which is aimed at 55 plus. But it is all about, it's time for you and time to do what you want to do. But this is kind of just, for me, the realization that I've got to do it in the next 10 to 15 years. Otherwise, what if? I would hate to, when you're 20, you've got forever to go wherever you want to go. But all of a sudden, this realization is like, got to be realistic here. I might not want to be on an aeroplane for 14 hours when I'm 18.
Yeah.
Some people will, and I might be one of those that will till I'm 90, 95. Please God, I am. But it's just in case you're not, you've got to put those wonderful ideas in place sooner rather than later.
Yeah, take action. If you otherwise, you certainly don't want to have a trip that you regret, but bigger picture, you don't want to have a period of life that you don't regret.
Was it they say you never regret the things that you don't do. You never, you can regret the things you do, but you don't. No, you always regret the things that you don't do.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. I knew I'd get it the right way around eventually.
I got you.
Thank you so much, Zach. It's been a brilliant conversation. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish you every success as you launch Mexico. Look forward to all the other countries that you roll out as well. I know you've got quite a few under your belt so far too. And hopefully we will see you create some wonderful things in the Collaboration Global community. So if anybody would like to have a chat with Zach, he will be at some of our guest sessions at Collaboration Global, and you can find those on Eventbrite, or you can find them on the LinkedIn events, or go to our website, collaborationglobal.org, and you can book into one of those as well. And you might be in a little breakout room with Zach and have a chat with him there. Or if not, you can find him, Zachary J. Smith, is it? Zachary B. Smith on LinkedIn. Or obviously, as he said earlier, email him or go onto the website anywhere.com and have a little dream about your next holiday and complete that form. Thank you so much again, Zach. I really look forward to further conversations and see what you get up to in the not too distant future. Thank you for being our guest today.
Absolute pleasure, Jill. Thank you.
See you soon.